Hello, welcome to Summer Talk 018. Today I want to talk about business triple jump. Triple jump. For a company who can continuously growth of 10 years, 20 years, even 30 years of strong growth like this trend, it's kind of amazing and sometimes it's impossible. They must have done more than just one thing right. They have done more than two or three big blood changing in their company in order to have strong growth for more than decades. So I want to talk about three jump in the business. The first stage is called 0 to 1. As we all know, the famous author Peter Thiel, who wrote the book 0 to 1. That's the first stage. Then the second stage is called 1 to n, number n. Then third stage is called n to n plus 1. So let me explain different stage. The first stage, 0 to 1, is from nothing to have a new company. So it's called a 0 to 1. Around this stage company, it's very important to focus on not be perfect, but to have an idea, then came out, then fast upgrade. So they are willing to take chances, take different opportunities to try different new things. Once they find the sweet points, we call that sweet points, the points you think, oh, that brings the company profit, oh, that's the company model we want to be. That's called the sweet point. Once the new company find that sweet points, that's the model they want to continually to become a big model. And this model has been verified in a business world that it's been success with that sweet point. So let's call it 0 to 1. Then the second stage is called 1 to n. What's 1 to n? It's once you find that sweet point that the business model is good, fits your company, then you want to have standardization and consistency. Standardization and consistency, which means copy the model, become bigger, spread the model quickly. So for these types of product or service, you want to have standardization. Owning standardization product or service can continually to have consistency. Owning consistency can bring you the bigger copy spread out for the models. So I want to give you an example of if you ever had in first class airplane, you will find out the nuts they give you in the first class. Okay, the nuts. How many pieces nuts in the container, and how many walnut, how many pecan, how many peanuts, they are all standardized. Everyone in first class get exactly same nuts. So let's call it standardization. Let's call it second stage. Then the third stage, which is from n to n plus, let's call it third stage, which is cross-border, from what you do right now, cross-border to another field to have a big innovation. That's the third stage. So three stage has three different ability for a founder or for the CEO. So what you see often is a person, hard to see a person who have those three abilities all together, but you do see them. But often you see the founder who founded the company and find that sweet point, then go into the second stage, they all being replaced by someone else. So for example, like a Twitter company, Jack Dorsey, who is founded a Twitter company, and once the Twitter reached a point, he got replaced, which about 40% of founder when they reach the second stage, they likely to be replaced, and 80% of that 40% of replacement often it's forced to be replaced. So like a Jack Dorsey, he was running a Twitter company in good at operating part, but he's not in good at in number part. He's not good in accounting book part. So he often make mistake on the accounting number part. So the investor are not very happy about it. The shareholder are not very happy about it. So the investor from East Coast flew over to the West Coast, have a breakfast with Jack Dorsey, and say, hey, we want to replace you. Jack Dorsey said, what is it? Can you repeat it again? Yes, we want to replace you because your ability it's not good enough for the second stage. Not good enough for the second stage to be standardization and consistency. Let's, of course, we see another example of Uber CEO. It's very hot those days about Uber CEO being replaced. On second stage, often it's by replacing a professional management, professional managers to replace the founders. That's on second stage. Then third stage is another big innovation for a company to cross over to make a company become bigger. So at this time, often you see the investor funding the founder, funding the prior CEO back to the company. The example will be like Steve Jobs, of course Jack Dorsey also too. They find the founder come back to the company again. Why? Because on the third stage, from N to N+1, the company needs the ability of the second startup again, just like the founder who, when they started a new company, they needed someone who has ability to second time start up a new company to cross over to make empires. So that's why they often find the founder back to their company. So in conclusion, I want to talk about in a company growth for decades strongly, they often need three different types of ability CEOs to fit into different stages. So the first stage is the ability to exploring. The second stage is ability to standardize your product or your service. Then third stage is the second time ability to start up company again. So the more you know about the business world, the more you respect company who has been in history for a long time, because what's behind that growth, what's behind that huge profit, it's beyond ordinary people. It's the ability that beyond normal people. It's the difficulties that they carry in their shoulder, and of course the responsibility to society. So thank you for the summer talk 018. Bye bye.